One man, caught between two nightmares, Skynet's cold machines and the Hive's living horrors, holds the secret that could end them both. The desert stretched endlessly beneath a blood-red sky, its silence broken only by the whine of distant drones and the crackle of old fires still smoldering in the ruins of what was once a thriving city. Rusted metal bones of skyscrapers jutted like the ribs of a dying giant, shadows falling long and jagged across the sand. In the middle of this wasteland, chained and half-conscious, walked a lone human, the last of his unit, the last of his family, maybe the last of his kind. His name was Elias Kane. Captured days ago by creatures that weren't machine and weren't quite alive, Elias stumbled forward, forced by the Hive's tendrils that gripped his wrists like living manacles. His body ached with exhaustion, but his mind held onto one thing. The secret embedded deep inside him, something that neither Skynet nor the Hive could ever be allowed to unlock. The Hive had taken him not as prey, but as a breeder. He had seen others dragged into the blackened pits of their hives, where screams echoed against dripping walls of flesh. There, men and women were bound, their chests rising in panic as parasites scuttled across their skin, searching for a place to plant new life. Elias knew what awaited him. The Hive wanted him as a vessel. But Elias wasn't just any man. Before the fall of Los Angeles, before Skynet's metal armies and the Hive's living swarm tore the earth apart, Elias had been part of a secret project. A collaboration of desperate scientists who had discovered something ancient buried beneath the ice of Antarctica. They called it the Oracle strain, a genetic anomaly unlike anything human or alien. When Judgment Day came, the scientists injected it into Elias, encoding fragments of knowledge into his DNA. A living archive, a weapon, curse. Now the Hive's tendrils pulled him deeper into the tunnels. The air grew thick, wet, clotted with spores. The walls pulsed faintly, alive with veins that glowed like molten rivers. The sound of movement surrounded him. Skittering claws, low chittering, the deep, resonant hum of the queen somewhere in the dark. Elias clenched his jaw. He had to hold on. He had to resist. But he wasn't the only one hunting secrets. Skynet had tracked the Hive here too. From orbit, satellites watched the desert shift with unnatural growth, organic structures rising where none should exist. The machines had learned of Elias through intercepted transmissions, whispers of a human whose DNA carried knowledge Skynet had long sought. Knowledge of a weapon capable of dismantling Hive biology at its roots. Skynet calculated, as it always did, Elias was no longer human. He was an asset. A metallic screech echoed through the tunnels, rattling the organic walls. The Hive stirred, clicking in agitation. Elias's head snapped up. He knew that sound, the hunter-killers. Machines were coming. The Hive reacted instantly. From the shadows, soldiers crawled forward, their bodies glistening with acid, their jaws dripping. They encircled Elias, protecting their prize. Tendrils tightened, pulling him toward the central chamber. And then he saw her, the queen. She towered above all, her massive body fused with the walls, her ovipositor pulsing as it birthed slick, writhing eggs. Her eyes, dark and intelligent, fixed on Elias. She leaned closer, her breath hot and reeking of decay. She hissed, and Elias felt the sound in his bones. She didn't just see him as flesh. She felt the difference in his blood. Behind them, the tunnels collapsed in bursts of plasma fire. Skynet's troops were advancing, plasma rifles scorching holes through the living walls, their red eyes glowing like pits of hell. The queen roared. The Hive surged. Caught in the center, Elias knew the machines would kill him if the Hive didn't implant him first. He struggled, straining against the tendrils, but the Hive's grip was absolute. A facehugger crawled forward, its legs splayed wide, its tail coiling like a whip. Elias thrashed, his heart pounding. And then it happened. As the facehugger leapt, Elias's body reacted. The oracle strain inside him surged, rewriting his cells. His veins burned with light, and a pulse erupted from his chest. A wave of bioelectric energy that sent the creature flying backward in a shriek of pain. The tendrils released him as if shocked. The queen recoiled, her hiss transforming into a scream. Elias collapsed, gasping. His secret had awakened. The Hive had felt it. Skynet had detected it. Both forces froze for a heartbeat, recognizing what Elias truly was. The key. The machines poured into the chamber, their plasma rifles cutting down Hive drones with surgical precision. The queen countered, sending waves of warriors at them, acid blood spraying as steel met flesh. The chamber erupted into chaos, screams, roars, and the relentless thunder of battle. Elias crawled through the carnage, his mind screaming at him to run. But there was nowhere to run. He knew what the strain wanted now. It wanted to unleash itself. It wanted to burn the Hive from existence. But to activate it fully, Elias would need to give himself over completely. He would no longer be human. He would become something else. A machine's shadow loomed over him. A T-850, armored and relentless, extended a metallic hand. Its red eyes scanned him. Subject identified. Elias Kane. Priority. Retrieval. Before the machine could grab him, a Hive warrior tackled it, acid hissing as it melted through steel. Elias stumbled to his feet, clutching his chest where the pulse had originated. He could feel the oracle strain whispering in his mind, showing him visions, maps of the Hive's neural network, blueprints of Skynet's processors. Both enemies were connected, and he was the bridge. The queen's voice filled the chamber, not with words, but with raw psychic force. She wanted him. She wanted to merge the Hive with the strain, to evolve beyond Skynet, beyond humanity. At the same time, the machines closed in, their cold logic calculating his potential. They wanted to dissect him, to copy the strain, to overwrite life itself with machinery. Two predators, one prey. Elias screamed. Energy tore through him again, a shockwave that sent drones and endoskeletons flying. His body lifted from the ground, suspended in a storm of light. The strain was no longer silent. It spoke in his thoughts, a chorus of alien and human voices. You are the weapon. Choose. The queen lunged, her massive claw reaching for him. The machines opened fire, plasma bolts streaking past his face. And Elias, caught in the middle, realized the truth. He couldn't choose one. He had to destroy them both. With the last of his strength, Elias hurled himself toward the queen. Energy flared from his veins, pouring into her body. She screamed as her flesh ignited, her connection to the Hive shattering like glass. At the same time, Skynet systems, still scanning him, were infected by the same surge, his bioelectric pulse corrupting their networks, burning code like wildfire. The chamber shook. The Hive writhed in agony, collapsing into itself. Machines spasmed, their red eyes flickering out one by one. Elias fell to his knees, every nerve in his body aflame. The queen convulsed, her massive form collapsing, ichor flooding the ground. Skynet's units went still, their weapons dropping lifelessly to the floor. And Elias, barely conscious, realized he had become the very thing he feared. A bridge between life and machine, human and alien. He was no longer just Elias Kane. He was the strain incarnate. The Hive was broken. Skynet was crippled. But Elias knew it wasn't the end. Both would rise again. Both would adapt. And now they would come for him, not as prey, not as breeder, but as the one being who could end them forever. Stumbling into the burning tunnels, Elias vanished into the desert night, a ghost carrying the last hope and the last curse of humanity. The war wasn't over. It had only just begun.